automatic curses. Like
You know,
anybody who plays Superman is cursed to die or be harmed horribly.
that happened in my hometown.
Maybe there's a
Oh
Morris
no.
curse.
Culpeper, Virginia. It's where he got paralyzed.
Oh man, that was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
That is so
Christopher
sad.
Christopher Reeve,
Mm.
not Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Mandela
Reeve.
effect.
Reeve.
Reeve.
Mm-hmm.
Reeve.
Christopher Reeve. Reeve.
Or that. Sure. I'll believe
I thought it
anything
was
now.
Reeves.
Oh,
No, it's Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
Christopher.
It's Keanu Reeves.
Christopher
Keanu.
Reeve. Yep.
Dude, I would love to meet Keanu Reeves, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a
Yeah.
cool dude.
He seems
Especially for Christmas.
like a chill guy.
Very chill.
Yeah, a friend of mine. Never mind. I'll tell you guys off air.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. Keep
Yeah,
me in
yeah, just
suspense.
wait. I'll keep you in suspense
No.
at the end of the episode.
It's
We should invite.
it's gonna
Keanu
be in the
Reeves
back of our
on.
heads all episode.
I know, it's bothering me now.
We should.
Listeners, if you want Joey to tell you more about Keanu, you know, just
The kitty. Did you guys watch that movie, Keanu, with the kitty?
No.
no. Is there a
It's got,
Keanu Reeves movie with a
yes.
kitty?
No, it's the guys from what's that TV
From
show?
Key and Peele.
Yeah, and they did a movie with
my
the kitty
God.
called Keanu. Super cute kitty, and he like
Mhm.
helps them do stuff. I don't remember. I think they get into some hijinks of like drug dealings or something, and
Yeah.
they get in the middle of it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Very short story. 10 out of 10 paws.
There's
Right.
We are
there's
live,
the feeling.
actually.
There's the feeling.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're
Who's,
live,
who's
guys.
announcing this bad boy?
We are.
It is
Air Force
Damien's turn.
One.
Guys.
Air Force, it's been too long.
Guys. Beer, Booze, and Boogeyman is back after like what, a 3 month hiatus. All because of Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
So, as everybody can see, Joey and Gil are still with us.
We are.
They are still
Can't
with
kill
us.
us that easy.
And this is
Nope.
what, yeah. And this is what, episode like number 9, I think?
Mm-hmm.
8, 9,
Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, I feel like
in
it should
there.
be episode like 20 because Night House was like, what, 10, 11 episodes all wrapped up in
All
one?
in one.
I think that was 10 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like forever. Since we've actually seen you guys,
Right.
like we talk all the time,
Yeah.
but we're all the gang's all back together, guys.
Right.
I know, it's super nice.
Booze are back in
We
town.
are.
Yeah.
Damien, what are we talking about tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
We are talking about Ouija board experiences. We are talking about medium experiences, clairvoyant experiences. If you're a clairvoyant or a medium or anybody with psychic abilities, we are talking about that. We want to hear from you guys. It's going to be interesting, I think, because we do have already quite a few stories that we get to read. So, and I've got
I'm
a couple.
excited for this.
Maybe, I think a couple. At least one. I have one. Maybe two. I think two. Yeah.
I would say it wouldn't
So-
be this style's paranormal if you didn't have like at least 30 stories, Damien.
It's true.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Aw.
And before we really get into this, let's make the rounds. What's everybody drinking tonight?
Oh gosh, I almost forgot. I'll
It's
go
been
first.
so long since we've done this.
I don't think I've tried this one before. It's the Beast of Both
Yes.
Worlds. I think
That
the
beer's so
dog. It's
good.
like a dog man thing with glowing eyes. So it's a cryptid
Yeah.
beer. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Nice. Is it any good?
It is. It's very crisp.
Joey, what
which I
about
need.
you?
It's a crisped beer.
Crisp
Um,
beer.
So it is not paranormal theme, but it is very much wonderful theme because it is Perfect Day IPA by
Aw.
Asheville
Hell
Brewing.
yeah.
support some Asheville Brewers right now because
Yeah.
a lot of them don't even have buildings anymore. So, to Asheville Brewers.
They made
It's a
that.
good
Somebody made that in their bathtub so that they could still bring it to the masses.
I did.
You-
Yes.
Bathtub
I made it
hooch.
in my bathtub. I was actually
New
in my
CEO
This
of
is-
Asheville Breweries.
because we didn't have any water. The best thing we could do was take showers in beer, and you know, I believe that is
Which is not a whole lot different than usually when we do have water.
regular,
But
regular North Carolina water. Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Oh. Gil, what about you, man?
Voodoo Ranger, tall boy,
Mm-mm.
because I'm a big boy, and that's what I'm drinking. So
Mhm.
yeah. And you, Damien?
I went out. I went outside the box this time. I didn't get a beer.
Milk,
I got something I've only drank about 3 times in my life.
Cryptid
I-
milk.
water.
I got a wine.
Oh,
Whoa!
Whoa.
It is 19
Look, a
Crimes
whole bottle.
Frankenstein.
damn. Oh yeah, you're at home
It's,
tonight, so you can let loose.
I've already got me some. I am. And I haven't drank this yet. My wife tried it and said it was gross, so I'm probably not going to like it.
Yeah. That wine glass he's drinking from is actually the stuff he's not drinking tonight. He's drinking just
Oh.
straight from the bottle. The rest of it. No,
Yeah,
it's not
that's
good.
bad.
And
Okay.
and well,
That's
if
bad.
you think that's bad,
No, that's bad.
Hair Force One has informed us in the chat. Which, by the way, Hair Force, I already said it. We'll say it again. It's been too long. Been too long, brother. We missed the fuck out of you. Because of current dietary choices, he's drinking a Monster Hard. So
Those aren't bad. Those aren't bad, Hair
Nice.
Force. And hey, Hair Force, I heard you were there. So hey, I'm
Really
not
not.
keeping my eye on the chat tonight. So I think Gil and Joey are gonna handle that. But hey, but the monsters aren't bad. The hard monsters. I think you had one, D.
They're really not.
Yeah, the last time. It just tastes like a monster.
it's
It
like
just
a
tasted like a monster to me,
With-
so
with a
that could be
kick.
bad.
it's like an elementary
Just a
school
little bit
like
of a kick, yeah.
what's the shit? What's those one drinks that got made illegal after a while?
Four Locos. Four Locos.
Yeah, Monster Hard sounds like a elementary school for Loco. Like that's some shit I'd be dealing out on the playground. You're like, not quite the real hard shit, but at that age you're like, yeah. But like, man, I remember, and it's from OSU. Four Loco was. Well, the people who
Monster
invented
Hard?
it were.
Monster Hard sounds like something you look up on Pornhub.
Yes. Well, in Espanol, translated from Spanish, those are going to be some interesting Google search images. It's just going to come up as hard monster.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to screen share real
No.
quick. Let's do this live. Let's do-
We're not
Gonna
gonna
drop
screen
you
share.
right into Bigfoot erotica. Trust.
Which
I'm
Kristen
still
is
mad.
gonna come on BCR with us and read some Bigfoot erotica
Oh, am
with
I?
us. We
Am
have
I?
talked about it. Me and Gil have.
I know you
made-
guys have. I know. I
Yeah.
don't
we've
recall
read
agreeing
we read
to
it
do
to
it.
each other. Yeah.
for months, I was just every time you were during your Bigfoot season, every time you were like, I don't know what I'm going to do this week. So and so canceled or they got delayed. And I was like, Bigfoot erotica. I will come on your show and read Bigfoot erotica. And eventually, I knew this was going to happen. Sorry, just like real quick. I knew this was going to happen. You weren't going to read one paragraph because you weren't familiar with it. I mean, who the fuck is? But you weren't going to read one paragraph. You were going to do your due diligence like you always do. So I was like, I just signed her up to read like 5 Bigfoot erotics.
Mhm.
You came back and you're like, so I've been reading through them and no.
Just
was
no. No.
I mean,
Like,
Rats.
Oh, man.
The shade of red, I couldn't make it through. I couldn't. And reading it out loud? Oh, no. No. It's as bad as you think it is.
I could probably read it out loud.
What they say about
do it,
feet
huh?
is true. And I found out that evening in the woods.
I found
It was
out
all a
the
blur.
hard-
It was
hard way.
Bigfoot and our passion. God, I'm so here for it.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
All right, we can end the show right now.
Yeah,
That was good.
the
Good episode,
highlight
guys.
of tonight.
That was good. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh,
Well,
Dude, Hair Force One. Sorry, I'm jumping in here. He
yeah.
said I'm down from 195 pounds to currently at 156 today. He started on September 12th. Holy shit! Congratulations, bro. That is
That's a
like,
Right.
lot
wow.
of weight. How much alcohol were you
yes.
drinking?
That's hardcore.
Oh, that's just diet. That's good.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome, man. For real though. For real. Like no
Mhm.
jokes. That is
Oh, it's hard.
crazy
hard to do.
impressive.
I had to drop
Yeah.
like 40 pounds once for a project, and I had 4 months to do it. And it's like it'll mess you up if you're not ready for it, dude. So
About like
Yeah.
3.2
Yeah,
pounds
so
a
he-
week.
Hair Force. So if
3.2.
I haven't told you yet, I'm proud. I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome.
See, like he's
Props,
doing it right. Like
props.
Joey and I lost weight because of the storm and the subsequent like just everything being fucked here for weeks on end. Like I
Mm-hmm.
I went from a size 32, 33 waist to a 28.
God.
Damn.
Because like we weren't able to do laundry or wash our clothes or anything, so I'm like digging through every piece of clothes in my closet, and eventually I'm getting to those pants that I haven't been able to fit into in like 9 years, and I was like, oh my god, they fit. Ah, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was gnarly, y'all.
Oh, man.
So trust us, we would have rather have been at the Night House investigation than
Yeah.
you know.
But
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
an
but
opportunity for
Yeah.
you two boys to go,
yes,
right?
and we will
so
be.
that is
Mhm.
so the night house is not technically over because the boys have to investigate it
Nope.
and have their own experiences. But
Mhm.
speaking of the night house, we haven't had an episode since, and we have a promise to fulfill here. Thank yous and shout outs to
Mhm.
some of the folks who made it possible, our Indiegogo contributors. So, Damien, if you are ready, help me through this list
Yes,
here. And
I
let's
am.
give them the thank yous that they deserve. And then we are going to jump into some stories and get to the show tonight. So, I'll start us out
We
here.
will.
So, in our first tier, the Ghostly Givers, we had Brian Mathis and Gina Black. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And in tier 2, our spooky supporters, we had Bigfoot, we had Julia Barnes, Gail E. Moss, Daniel Furline, Charles Lee Ray, and Bud Nicosia. I probably screwed his last name up, but thank you, Bud. He was our very first contributor when we actually had the GoFundMe
yeah.
set up first. So
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
All right. Tier 3, our paranormal player ones. We had Caitlin Conquest, David Aguilar, who also, he's a friend of mine, and he also did donate when we initially had the GoFundMe
Mhm.
set up. Rachel Buckles, Kayla Cathy, Megan Hagler, so sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Brittany Duke, and Ricky and Debbie Billar. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Wait.
and
We
in
are.
tier
I'm.
4,
Hold on. Oh.
wait,
Wait. We're doing it wrong. Sorry, you guys.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Keep
there you
going.
go. There you
Keep
go.
going. Yeah.
Continue, D.
I'm a little rusty. I'm sorry, y'all.
all right. In tier 4, our haunted heroes tier, we had Lou Gafford, we had Sherry Bennett, Gilbert Bentley. I think that was somebody that Gil just said, "Hey, donate for me."
There can be
And
only one. I'm gonna hunt you down.
Christiana Barkman.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Woot
Thank you,
woot.
Christiana Barkman.
Thank you.
Gil, I'm gonna hunt you down.
Thank you
You've got
guys.
count your days, bud.
It's Gil with one L. No, it's Gilbert with one L too.
Somebody's
So I don't know.
impersonating me.
Somebody's
They
they're
know his real
riding
name.
a fine
Gilbert.
line right now. All right, tier
Fine.
5, our phantom benefactors. Steve Jones, paranormal patron. That was a collective of people. and Tony Johnstone. Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then in our tier 7, our paranormal investigator tier, we had Heidi Washington and
Huh?
we had Heidi Washington and Beth Simingston. So thank you both very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Seriously.
I'm just like waving awkwardly because I have like one hand on my mouse and I'm like, I'm waving. I'm like, that's not the right messaging. I don't know.
You finally
God, that's
figured it
weird.
out there at the end, Gil.
I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't know what I'm doing. What the hell's
All
going on?
right. All right.
No, but seriously, thank y'all. That was so fucking
Oh, that's
awesome.
No.
Mhm.
Like, holy
very
shit.
much.
Can you guys believe that even like got pulled off? Like,
No.
I don't.
Mhm.
Damien came to us. He's like, okay, so I got this deal set up and it's gonna be really awesome. But we only got like 2 months. And we're like, our show is only once a month, bro. What the fuck? It's like, it's okay, we could do it. We just have to raise thousands of dollars and we're all broke. What the fuck?
And we also have to do a five hour paranormal telethon. Get ready.
We have to do-
Somehow throw it in there.
Yep.
you know how it's impossible to get
Hey,
anybody
but
to
we did
show
it.
up for an interview on time? Well, we're gonna do it 10 times in a row.
Every 30
But we
minutes.
fucking did it. We did it. And like seriously,
We
I
did.
can't it's so fucking awesome that because like our show's new, more or less. I mean, this is episode 9, right? We're still babies. Our show's new, and the listeners and the folks that tune in every single month, um, it's y'all diehards. It's you guys. It's you awesome motherfuckers out there that like made it possible. That went to bat for us. That believed in this campaign, believed in us, and like, thank you guys. Fuck yeah. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Hell yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank you. It's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, it's amazing
Exactly.
that got pulled off and that we, besides me and Gil not being able to be there, we really appreciate you guys getting at least Chris and Damien there, and me and Gil still do have a chance to go eventually, and
We will.
yeah, and it seems like from what Kristen and Damien have said that it went really fun
Mm-hmm.
and interesting,
I
and
scared the shit out of D at
It
one
was a fun
point.
night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's okay. Payback's coming at some point. But
Mm-mm.
hey,
next time,
props
next
to
Okay.
time we do
myself.
one.
I didn't scare myself like I normally do on an investigation. So
That's funny. You scare yourself.
I do.
It's
This is off topic. Have you guys seen that video of the person who's like what is it? They're like scared of sneeze, or they're scared of yells. And so like they like it's fake. It's a parody, but the person's just sitting at home and they're just like something happens, like a broom falls and they're like, "Oh!" They
And they
start
keep
yelling,
scaring
but then they're
themselves because
freaking out about their yelling.
they're yelling themselves and they keep freaking out.
So
Oh God.
I picture that's I'll have to wait to see, but I picture that's Damien like on a ghost hunt. It's just like, all right, we have all the equipment set up, and I have this teacup. This is a test. If there's a ghost in here, it'll knock over this very precariously placed teacup. Wind blows, it falls over. You just told me.
And he runs out of the house. I'm done. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck this, I'm retiring.
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to do on an
Yeah.
investigation. It really is. You're in pitch darkness. You don't know what's gonna
Hmm.
happen. And anything could happen. So yeah, it's easy to do. I get it. I get it. I'll I'll I've been scared on every
It
investigation,
is.
is what I'm saying.
That's why I always, every time I go on investigation, I always bring my piano, so I can just cut cut the strings on the piano, so ting, and you just hear that randomly, and then you also can hit the strings on the piano, so you have that weird 1970s horror sounds, and that's
Mm.
That's what I have to bring with me. You guys didn't get to see it because, we didn't get to go. But I was just going to be there
That's
with the piano.
that's
It's
some
true.
commitment, man. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Give the
It
people
is.
what they want.
80 grand piano strapped to his back.
Exactly.
Wow.
He's not
Yeah.
actually able to do much in the investigation, but you'll hear him.
He sets
No.
the mood.
From couple feet away,
A couple blocks away.
a couple blocks away.
Um,
Yeah,
So
I don't think Eric would have joined that.
thank you, Hair Force, for sharing this live stream with your crew there with some folks. Appreciate
Woo-hoo.
that.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so y'all, tonight, seances, Ouija boards, mediums, clairvoyance, um, Clorox. I don't know. We got everything going on here, but it's like anytime people are tuning in, anytime people are tuning into, or I guess trying to make an outgoing call to the spirit world, right? That's pretty much what we're covering here. It's those
Mhm.
outbound calls. Um, we don't have any stories for this,
You
do
don't?
you?
Oh.
Not a single. No, I have a hard line rule. When I don't understand shit, I don't fuck with it. And so like Ouija boards and stuff, my whole life I'm just like, nope, I don't get it. Nope, ain't gonna touch it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Oh.
I never had to touch a hot stove as a kid to learn not to touch a hot stove. I was never that kid.
Mhm.
I was just like, that shit burns. I'm not touching that.
You just
Gil also
believe
got really
somebody
confused.
blindly?
Gil got really confused
Oh,
too
I got
because
burned
he couldn't.
accidentally enough.
He couldn't read it. He didn't. He don't know what letters are. So he's like, "What is that?" I wouldn't be able to read this anyways if they did tell me a note. So he's just really confused.
It's going, and
I
he's
did
like,
burn my
Oz,
thumbprint
Oz,
off.
Oz, Oz. What does that
Oz?
mean?
Yeah.
Get it? It's the,
Yeah.
it's the demon.
I th- I think that's too. That's why I'm like I hate Scrabble so much. I have such fucking horrible spelling. Like I am the worst fucking speller. So like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna do well with the Ouija board.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like, get a flagaden. What the fuck is that?
Every Ouija board should come with the
I think
dictionary
we found a
You know.
Finnish ghost, y'all. Like,
and a thesaurus too. You probably need a thesaurus.
be Welsh.
Hmm.
Well, at some point tonight, can we talk about the skeptical take on Ouija boards?
Hmm.
I mean, being your
Sure.
resident
Mhm.
skeptical believer, what is that? So it's thought, skeptically thinking about it, is that it's little micro movements that people just
Mhm.
automatically do. We're doing it right now, and we don't even know it because they're so small. And that is what is fueling the movements on the Ouija board. What do you guys think? Where do you think? Have you heard stories? Have you heard enough stories that there's some real weird stuff that happens that's just kind of out of the realm of coincidence, out of the realm of possibility, out of just unconsciously moving it with micro movements? What do y'all think?
It sounds. I
I
mean,
mean,
I
anything's
think that
possible.
could happen. Yeah. And I mean, I think with all paranormal stuff, with like experiences or stories, or anytime somebody's kind of relaying it, it's like there has to be that boundary in your head where it's like at a certain point you're like, okay, that's past, micro movements and stuff. It's like, yes, and it spelled out this message, and then we walked outside and it was burning in my yard in the grass, and then like 18 crows fell down dead out of the sky.
Not the
My great
crows.
grandma called. She's dead. And she said, I'm trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Shit was nuts. Like at a certain point, it crosses past micro movements where it's like all the drawers in your house open or some crazy shit,
Mhm.
like, but yeah, it's hard to verify where it's just like, I don't know. We just had an intense feeling. It's like, yeah, that's why you were doing a Ouija board. It's the same with
Mhm.
like ghost hunting, where it's just like you're not going to be thinking about ghosts. That's the fucking
Hmm.
point of why you're there, So it's
Right.
like, but it's all about pushing it. I don't know. What about the rest of
I,
y'all?
mm, I haven't had any experiences either with this kind of
Kristen?
stuff. I haven't tried either.
Dang.
So, you know, there could be something to it. There could be. I just honestly think it also matters how much you're inviting in. Like if you're just in it to play with it and be like, "Oh, this is going to be fun. This is just stupid stuff." Like you're probably going to be just moving it, people are going to be moving it. But maybe if there's something, and you not saying if you believe in it hard enough that it is going to happen, um, but if you maybe invite more things in, I don't know. Could be. Could be something there.
Idiomotor. Idiomotor
Maybe.
movements, I believe. That's what it's called.
Hmm.
What about you, D?
Well, I guess I'm the only one that's ever messed with one. Uh, I don't know, it's weird because I kind of look at it like if you can buy it at Walmart in the game section, like how legit can it really be?
Hmm.
So like, with that being said, I'll go ahead and jump into my one experience with one. Um, I feel like I'm lagging. Am I lagging?
Don't think so.
I mean,
A little bit.
hear you okay?
Yeah.
But I'm just going really fast.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So teenager, I don't know. I was like 14 or 15. My mom bought me one for Christmas one year. I'd never played with it. Didn't didn't even know how to really use one. And Keith, everybody's heard about Keith. He was. I think I took it to his house. Pretty sure I took it to his house. And we set up in his room one night, and we were messing around with it. Doing the typical, "Is there anybody here?" Blah blah blah. And of course, it starts moving, and we're like, he's like, "Dude, you're totally moving." And I was like, "I'm not moving it. You're moving it." And we just went back and forth for a couple of minutes and continued on. We're like, "Who's making this move?" And it
Hmm.
eventually spelled out two words. It spelled out Red Ted. And we were just like, "Well, who is that? Who is Red? Who are you?" It never said anything else. It never moved again. So like, I mean, I don't know if he was actually moving it. I know I wasn't. So I mean, I don't know if he was actually moving it or if something was channeling through and his name was Red Ted. You know, I don't know. But it was that's the only time I've ever really played with one. There's one other time that I've played with one, and I'm gonna put that story on pause because it involves my mom, and she may call in later and talk about it. I don't know. If she don't, then I'll talk about it. But I didn't know anything about closing them out. I didn't know you were supposed to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I never did.
Hmm.
So it also makes me kind of wonder. I'm like, okay, if these are legit and I didn't close it out, is that why I have experiences pretty much everywhere I go?
Hmm.
Like,
How would one
did
close out one?
something just kind of like latch on because I didn't? I don't know. I'm guessing you just thank them for talking and say goodbye. I mean, I've never closed one out. I have no clue
Hmm. Hmm.
because I was
Unsubscribe, you
only
mean?
messed with it twice.
Unsubscribe.
Just unsubscribe, unfollow. I okay, but so you brought up something good though, or interesting, I guess, like a point, just real quick, like, you're saying they're sold at Walmart, which like kind of delegitimizes it, and like I can see that, but also like tarot cards are sold at stores like Target and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So does that dismiss tarot cards?
Yeah,
Genuine question.
It does it.
I don't know. I've never messed with them.
Hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
think
know.
so. I don't think so. I think it does like who said it? It comes down to the energy, I think, of the user.
Hmm.
That's what I would guess.
Hmm.
I don't think something is not legit simply because somebody sold it to you or like you can buy it in a box or like a tool can be anything can be a tool.
Yeah.
I've talked to enough people who have communicated via crazy objects, very strange things, to know that really anything can be. But oftentimes I think it does come down to the person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. hmm. Well,
It was
Good point.
actually
Good
invented
point.
as the Ouija board was actually invented as a um like a game,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of funny. In 1886, I'm doing some research on the background of the Ouija board.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah, by a guy named Charles Kennard and Elijah Bond. And apparently, well, I mean, obviously Hasbro brought it later, right? Hasbro,
Mm-hmm.
Parker Brothers,
I believe so. Yeah.
Hasbro. Yeah,
Yeah.
they bought it
I
later,
think it was
but it
Parker
seems
Brothers.
like I just read two different
One of those
stories. One of
bros.
them was
Mario
like
Brothers.
yeah, Mario and Luigi. Uh, they one of them was like the dark history behind the Ouija board, and then one of them was like a spiritualist. I mean, it was all like, spiritualism was going really big in the 1880s.
Yeah.
So this was like a kind of a novelty thing, I feel like, but even the communing with the dead and that style of automatic writing goes all the way back to like ancient China and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea behind it of the board itself being a physical object and the board itself being a physical object, but the idea behind it being a real thing is kind of an interesting thing. Like it's just the board is just the medium, of how it's getting there. And then but the idea of communing with the dead could be just like we're talking about with the intention behind it. It could just be some people play with the board and they're like, "Oh, cool, I spelled poop," or with this, or one could be just like, "Hey, I was just talking to my family member, and they said something significant or wrote something significant."
Mm-hmm.
It would be really terrible if you didn't know how to spell and you were on the other side and you just Gil
Me.
and you
Yeah.
were trying to
Right.
commune with somebody
Literally.
playing the Ouija board, and they're just like, "What is recont? What?" Like, I don't even know what he's saying. Gil's just like, "Give me a
Why
cigarette."
did I go to France?
Yeah. Raconteurs.
Well, when they created the Ouija board back in 1800 something, I can't remember what you said, 86?
1886.
You said they created it as a game, but was it specifically a game in order to speak to the dead? Because that was like right in the middle of the spiritualism movement. That was kicking off. Like the Victorians were hella interested in the dead and ghosts and being able to communicate with ghosts and mediumship. It was like that was the pinnacle of that time.
Mm-hmm.
So they did create it specifically to be a spirit talker board. I can't remember what they called it. Talking board.
Yep.
Right?
Spirit board, talking board.
Spirit board. Yeah.
Or
Okay.
witch board too.
A witch board. Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
That's what's
we
also-
have a call coming in here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, actually.
But I
We're gonna
wonder-
you might have to call right back, the person that's calling in, but we are gonna get you on. So if you can call back immediately, I don't think I'm gonna make it in time.
I know who it is.
We're gonna
She is at work,
Cool.
and she said she only has 15 minutes. So
perfect. Well, screen share
let me know when to tell her to call,
right now.
because this will be pretty interesting. But yeah, I wonder who thought it was a good idea that communicating with the dead is a game.
So yeah, something I was kind of waiting for one of y'all to maybe hit at it, but I feel special. I know something here. So it was immediately after the Civil War. There were so many widows and things like that. We'll get back to that
There
later.
she is.
Hello, caller. You are live. Can we get your name and where you're calling from?
Hi, my name is Melinda Wolfram, and I'm calling from Tennessee.
Hi, Melinda. Thank you for calling in.
Welcome.
Oh, I'm very proud to
Hello,
be here.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Hey, Damien, how are you?
He's doing good.
Good. How are you?
He's doing good. His audio's a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
Right, I'm doing good. Great to hear.
So, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, I mean, Damien invited me to come on, and I am a psychic medium, a psychic detective, and I've done the seances. I've done a little bit of everything. and he, told me that you guys were doing this. He offered for me to come on. Of course, I was planning on staying on as long as I could, but I was called into work, and so I'm on my break. And I thought I'd give you
Hmm.
guys a call real quick just to be able to, to talk about, I could talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Of course, my expertise is the psychic detective work I do. But, I'm willing to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is interesting. Yay.
Okay. We got her for
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to
Yes.
ask?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick questions.
Yes, let's go with it.
Snappy, snappy.
Well, I'd be curious to learn a little bit about maybe seances. That's something I've always wanted to try, but I've never been into one, never been invited to one. Have you led any?
I have led a couple. Yes, I was brought through and taught. I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing because a lot of people, they go in and they play with the Ouija board, they do the seances, and if you really don't know what you're doing, you could get yourself into some situations. But I was trained under Patty Negri, and she is just an amazing teacher. And but yes, I've held a couple myself, and I've done the tipping table, I've done all of that stuff. So the seances is something that I really really enjoy doing. And there's certain ways, certain techniques that you've got to know to be able, for the protections of everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Okay.
hmm.
But I mean, they are just, the first time I done one on my own, I was sort of like not for sure because you know how it is when you're doing something new. And,
Mm,
but they can be really amazing to bring spirit through. And I was doing one time, the second one I done, uh, we brought a little girl came through, and what was weird, was that I was trying to figure out who she was, and the parents was in the room, and she her dad always called her teddy bear. And I said, whoever
mm,
this little girl's here for, I said, she's saying that her dad called her teddy bear. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
you ought to seen her expression. And so
mm,
we went through and we done talking about it, and we we conversed with her, and she was only 7 when she passed, and she was just wanting her parents to know that she was okay, and the father felt like it was that he could have done more to save her. It was a drowning,
Mm.
and but she was very adamant. She wanted her parents to know that no one was at fault, that it was her time, even though it was
mm,
hard. It was her time.
mm.
Okay. Can I ask how did she come through? Are you a physical medium? Are you channeling in these sessions?
I am a physical medium. I can see spirit. So basically, when what I see with spirit is they're like I can see through them. I will see their features. I can tell what color hair they have, but I can see through them.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. I'm
Wow.
gonna
What is-
somebody else take it, or I'm gonna talk her ear off.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this? And also, real quick, if anybody has any questions in the chat, please just start throwing them in there. If you can put them in all caps, it'll help us see it. But yeah, how long have you um been doing this? Because you do detective work and stuff like that. I imagine you didn't just pick up a psychic medium work for dummies book on Monday and started on the weekend. Like, has this been like a lifelong thing?
No, yes, I started seeing spirit. The earliest I remember is 7 years old, and I have done it all my life, and I'm 56 now. So I've done it for a long time. You know, it was well, I had two near-death experiences. But there was the incident when I was in school, and I it was 7 years old, and we were in class, and it was a Monday, and the teacher was standing up there, and she said that one of our classmates had been in an accident over the weekend with her parents, and she had died in the accident. And I'm
Hmm.
like, no, I'm like, Stephanie, she's at her desk because I could see her. And the teacher was like,
Mm,
"No, Melinda, stop that. You're upsetting the other students." And I'm like, I can see her. She's at her desk. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
And
Mm,
so it was, so I've done it all my life. And then I've turned it into the, mainly, I do connections for people now, but I do a lot of psychic detective work working with law enforcement and families.
Okay.
that's great that you do that.
So you're almost 50
That's
years in
my,
at this point. So,
yes, yes, I've done it for a long time.
gotcha.
Okay. Did, have you had ever had, I mean, no, you've had like some really good experience with families and things like that, like connecting them. Has there ever been like really bad experiences that you've had? There's something that you've been just like, I'm not going to do that again.
Well, I have been to, well, there was a family and there was some things going on in the home. And
Mm-hmm.
so a paranormal team called me in to see what I got. And it ended up in I've been through one exorcism. And I do not ever want to
Mm,
do one of those again,
Oof.
ever.
yeah.
They're
Hmm.
very few and far in between. A lot of people think, everything that's dark is demonic, and that's not true. Uh,
Mm.
but that's one of the worst things that I've been through is to watch an actual exorcism. And
Mm,
that's something I did not care for at all.
Mm.
mm. Yeah, that's a no go now. That's a you had that experience and
Yeah,
you're just like,
I don't
nah, I'm
like that at
good.
all.
Do you still get calls? Somebody's
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
hey, can
if I'm really really needed on something, I will never
Mhm.
turn nobody down, even if
Yeah,
it's something like that. Uh, but I try to stay clear of that.
yeah.
What would you recommend to folks, newbies to Ouija boards? What's your take on Ouija board?
Well, I have my own special one that I had made, and if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. But also, don't look at the Ouija board as something you shouldn't do, because to me, a Ouija board is no different than using tarot cards or oracle cards or whatever it is you're using. But if you do not know what you're doing, if you don't know how to open and close and the prayers and everything that you need to do, then you shouldn't be dabbling in it. Yeah, that's what I
Mm,
would advise. Do not dabble. Make sure you know what you're doing.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. Damien was just telling us like his only experiences with the Ouija board. He didn't know how to close it out. He's in and out here on the screen. He didn't know how to close it in and out. What's the likelihood that something has stayed with him?
Uh, if you don't do the proper procedures, and I mean, there's a lot of steps that I do, and I use holy water in my opening and closing. I use the elements because I am Native American, and so I'm very big about using the elements. And uh, but if I'll put it to you this way, more times than not, I have been asked to come and help on someone that actually worked on the Ouija board and they did not know what they were doing. And they did bring something in and they thought it was something good and it wasn't. And it wasn't demonic or nothing. It was just something of a darker entity.
Hmm.
And so, it's I'm going to say it's a 50-50 chance that you could bring in something if you're not opening and closing in the right way.
mm. You hear that, Damien?
And Damien, I can teach you how to do it.
Yeah, he might need some help.
I think he's got some
I can teach you how to do it.
he's definitely got
This
some darker entities
explains.
messing with his internet. Did I beat you to it, Gil? Did I beat you to
No, that was great. That was
it?
awesome. This honestly does explain so many things about how like D-Boost is like constantly being plagued by just like random knockings and crap and things falling down,
Mm,
and he's sending us these videos and stuff like every single day. Like at this point it's just like we hours of highlight reels we could put together from like our group chat. So this explains a
yeah.
lot. This is also why you don't fuck with shit you don't know. Just
Well,
that was the survival advice I
Well,
was giving just before you called.
yeah,
I love it.
God, I'm like, I don't know if y'all are too, but I'm just kind of like overwhelmed. I was expecting like one or two little stories, but it's like, oh no, I'm a full blown professional. I've got 50 years of, and I was just like, oh, hmm,
I know, I
uh,
know. If I had
freezing up. We need more time.
an
Yeah.
hour with you,
Yeah.
Melinda, oh my gosh, I would talk your face off. So,
Hmm.
Well, girl, anytime. I'm open. I'm here to help in any way I can, and I love to talk too. But unfortunately, I was called into work, and and I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, I got to call them at least for 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, we
so
really appreciate it.
but
Yeah,
anytime,
you've set the bar
Yeah.
high.
anytime at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
Can
imagine that
we?
this. Yeah. Go ahead. Go. You're gonna say the same thing.
No. Please go ahead.
I imagine that sometime in the near future, the BCR and probably Paranormal Girl will eventually message you to come on our show to talk about stuff
Yes.
when we do episodes. So just
100%.
preemptively jumping over top of Gil, if that's okay, and saying,
No.
is it okay if we, us and Kristen eventually invite you on our show? I'm speaking for Kristen here too, if that's okay,
Oh yes,
to talk about this stuff.
anytime,
We
guys.
could.
Anytime
Heck
at
yeah.
all. I am very honored, and I would,
Awesome.
I was going to be, like I said, planning on staying on here longer, but then this happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I told Jamie, and I said, oh my God, they called me into work, and I know tonight's the night, and
Mm.
but yes,
Eh,
anytime at all. I was honored.
Can
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
can
yeah.
Yeah.
I? Is it okay if we give out any of your contact information? Like, do you accept calls from folks that might be living in the like central and I'm assuming central and western Tennessee area? If you're in the same area as Damien.
I take calls. Yeah, I take calls any place from anybody at any time. I'm here to help.
Okay.
That's what I do, and so yeah, I could give. I put my phone number out everywhere. Everybody tells me I'm crazy. I'm like, well, then I'll just join everybody else. So, but yes, any.
Truth.
Uh,
Would
Yeah.
you?
so, but yes,
Mhm. If you could
so
give
my
us your
phone
number
number,
just while we got you for a few minutes. Yeah,
yes, it's
go for
four
it.
eight zero. Okay, it's 480-364-3977.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And we
Oh,
do if you have just a minute and a half left for one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Sure.
So yeah, question coming in from the chat. Uh, two things. Wondering if she ever had a bad experience, and the other question is, how does she suggest I learn how to use my tarot cards safely? Two different questions. Feel free to grab either one or just ignore both. I don't know. Whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
do.
Okay, so what was the first one?
It was wondered if she ever had a bad experience. It was coming
Bad
from
experience.
Tim Buckles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had went with a paranormal team and to a house that was having a lot of activity, and I kept going down to this lake area, and then like 3 days later, after it was all said and done, and my kids were talking to me, and they're like, "Mom," and I looked up, and what? And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I talking about?" And they're like, "You were talking about stuff we have no idea what you're talking about." And so then I had to call my medicine man, and I had him to come over, and I had an entity, well, a spirit that was trying to, what I call, how do I say this? Was trying to blend with me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so that was not a fun thing. It took about a week to get that taken care of. Of course, I had thought I'd done everything appropriately, and I had not. And this is back when
Mm-hmm.
I was first learning about, going on to with teams and helping them. But now I know what to do, and no, that will never happen to me again. And that was like when I was in my 20s. Um, and as
Okay.
far as the tarot question,
Yeah.
I do hold classes. I teach a lot, but one of the things, the first thing I would suggest for anybody starting out with tarot is to make
Hmm.
sure that you do an opening prayer and a closing prayer, and ask for protection. And if you use God, if you use I use Creator, because like I said, I'm Native American. It's
Mm-hmm.
whatever you see as far as a higher being, and ask
Hmm.
for protection.
Gotcha.
That's what I do.
Okay. Do you hold your classes on via Zoom or Patreon or YouTube or anything like that?
I do hold it on Zoom,
Okay.
and so yeah, I do that. I make my own essential oils. I do a little bit of everything, guys.
Cool.
Have you
Awesome.
are you familiar
Uh,
well, she's been gone for a little while, but Evelyn Paglini. Does that name ring a bell?
it sounds familiar, but I can't
Okay.
place it.
Gotcha. Okay.
All
It was
right.
a long shot question, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Melinda. We're not going to keep any longer. We know you got to get back to work. We're going to get all your contact info from Damien on the other side and let you get back to it. But we really,
Hmm.
really, really appreciate your call. That was
Yeah, for
awesome.
real.
Oh, I enjoy it, guys. And like I said, anytime. And Damien, thank you for inviting me on. And just like I said, I'm here to help, and I'd be honored to come back on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Plan on
Thank
it,
you.
girl. Plan on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
girl. I will talk to you guys soon.
All right.
All right,
Have a
Melinda. You
great
have a
night.
good one.
Bye.
You too. Bye bye.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Wow, dudes.
The bar got set pretty high, y'all. I feel like we just scared away anybody else calling
Oh,
tonight.
no, no, no. That
I
shouldn't
don't
scare
know.
anybody else away
I don't
from
know.
that was just unexpected. It was very
Yeah.
unexpected.
I locked up. I
Wow.
was like, I don't, there's million questions in head. What do I say? I didn't know what to ask. I was like, how many
Yeah, I
years of
was like,
experience? Shit.
I
I
want to
don't
have a
know.
good question, but I don't know the question to ask that wouldn't take 30 minutes to get to the, like it would be
Yeah,
really good to
yeah,
get some cool questions.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you just
yeah.
gotta have her back on as your guest and ask her all the
Hmm.
questions you want.
Poor
But yeah, that
Damien.
was so
Yes,
cool. I
definitely going
know,
to.
poor
Hmm.
D. He missed the rest of it, but he'll see it in the replay. He's he's really struggling with his internet tonight.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
well,
I just threw the number up on the screen. Sorry, keep this
oh
real
yeah,
quick.
no, no, you're good.
Taking calls, your seance and Ouija board tales. Our phone number is 208 717 1611. Or if you want to be fancy about it, you can go to ghost.beer/call. It'll pop the phone number up right in your phone. All you gotta do is click send. Make it so easy. It's so
Hmm.
easy to call us up. So easy.
That's very easy.
So gosh darn easy.
It's the touch of a button or link.
Touch of a button.
Well, we've put the
Hmm.
phone number out there. We're bound to get somebody to call in soon at some point. We do have a couple of stories though that have been submitted to us. Did you want to read one of those while we wait for our first call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Awesome.
I've got a longer one here. So if you guys want to settle in and I can do this one. All right,
Yes.
all
I'm
right,
ready.
all
Yeah,
right,
I'm
all
ready.
right.
I'm
Do you
set up.
guys have one on your end, by the way? Did he send
No.
it to you before he fell off the earth?
We will
Uh-oh.
reach out to him while you're reading and try to get that
Okay.
worked out. So,
All right. All
Hmm.
right. So this story, it is aptly titled Ouija Board, and it is sent in by Andrew. I went to Arizona State University. It's 2008. I'm a freshman and in my second semester. I'd been on the rugby team and was making friends, so going out a lot. We had plans with some teammates to go out to a party later that evening, but in the meantime, we would go to our buddy Ryan's. He lived in a condo type of situation. I believe they were like fraternity housing. Apparently, this unit had been passed down and subletted for decades through the frat he was with. And this place had history fraternity paddles and group pictures on every square inch of wall space you could imagine. Dishes piled up in the kitchen, messy coffee table, the usual for a frat living situation. I came with three other friends of mine, Ryan and one of his roommates. My three friends and I had never been there. We were all freshmen hanging out with this senior rugby frat teammate of ours, so we were trying to be cool, as you can imagine. We sit on the couches around the coffee table, and I notice right away a Ouija board on the center of the table, and it looks very old. I ask Ryan, "Hey, bro, is this yours?" He tells us it's been in the house since he'd been in it for 2 to 3 years, and a lot of the game's decorations, furniture, etc., just stays with the house as it gets passed on. I thought, whoa, that's really cool, and asked if he's used it before. He says no, they didn't mess with it, but we were more than welcome to try it. He heads to his room, and so does his roommate. We're having some beers, and my buddy says he's done one before and proceeds to set the board up and makes us say something out loud and can't really say I remember what else setup was needed. I remember we start asking simple questions, and the four of us have our hands on the moving piece while it's going around saying yes and no, but we're all laughing, assuming the others are pushing it to make the answers funny. So now we all say to each other, okay, stop effing around. Seriously, nobody move it this time, and let's ask the big question. So my friend Calvin, who's the most serious of us, asks, is there anybody here with us? No movement. We all look at each other smirking, thinking this is stupid. At that moment, it gets really cold. Like all of us with our hands still on the piece shrunk into ourselves because it got that cold. And we're in Arizona, by the way, in the middle of a heat wave. And this frat house was not particularly well insulated, so we're in there sweating the whole time until this moment. Calvin asks, are we alone? Slowly it slides right and then straight up diagonally to the no. I say, I have goosebumps. And we all look at each other trying to see who's going to laugh and say they pushed it. We're all physically stunned, but curious to see what info we can get now. I ask, who are you? No movement. Other friend Justin chimes in and asks, did you live here? Instantly, the piece moves slowly to the yes, and we're all freaking out at this moment. Our friend Ty is calling BS, accusing each of us for moving it. We all agree we hadn't. I say, let's ask their name. If we can get one, we can ask Ryan if they have heard of it before, and we'll know if one of us is playing around. So I ask. I do not remember the name that was spelt, but it was something like Thomas Fletcher or something to that nature. I then ask, did you die here? Answer swings to yes. We all sit back and are skeptical, naturally thinking the others are toying with us. Ryan comes back from his shower or whatever and asks why we are all so quiet. He asks, "Hey, do you know of somebody by the name of can't remember name that used to live here?" He says it didn't ring a bell and asks what year they graduated. We all look at each other and grab the board piece again. Calvin asks, "What year did you die?" Piece moves around instantly. 1968. We're stunned. I'm accusing Ty. He's accusing me. We're all yelling at each other. Ryan walks to a bookshelf in the same living room and starts looking through it frantically. Justin asks, what are you looking for? Ryan pulls out an old looking book and says, since this place has been in here, sorry, and says, since this place has been in their frat, they've kept. There's a lot of like grammar stuff I'm working around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Hello, caller. You were live. Can we get your name and where you're calling from? And could you kindly extinguish thy YouTube channel?
Say what now?
Hey.
Hey.
Air Force.
Hey. Air
Hey.
Force.
Shit, am I live?
You are live. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Hey, look,
Welcome.
nothing more,
Don't be too excited.
nothing more, nothing less than you guys are all so absolutely freaking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Air Force.
Absolutely love this show, love this channel. You guys are all just sweet. Damn.
Aw.
I really did not expect to be on the show.
Well, you're on, and we're appreciating you,
always
brother.
welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, man. Thank you for calling in. So do you have
Kristen,
any? Have you,
you
yeah,
already
I
know you're
believe.
awesome.
Oh, thank you, Air Force.
Go
You're
ahead.
awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're
Go
not
ahead.
interrupting.
You're good.
Not interrupting. Hey, do you happen to have any experience or thoughts about Ouija or mediumship or seances?
But I do. I have messed with this thing. And my personal opinion is I think it is what it is, that it's a little subjective, that
Mm.
once one person tells another person what's going on, that it kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mhm.
um, I'm not saying that there's nothing more, or I think there is more to that. Again, if we're talking Ouija board, that's a Hasbro toy. If we're talking boards, that's a whole different
Mhm.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A toy, as opposed to, I don't want to say the real thing because we still can't prove that, but I think it has more legitimacy than, is that a word? More
Yeah.
legitimate consequences than
Mm.
the Hasbro toy. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No.
Again,
No, it's
I'm
making
I'm
sense.
I'm 50-50 on all of this. I do believe, but I don't over believe. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean,
You're a skeptical believer.
Mhm.
yeah, well, yeah, I want. What's the poster? I want to believe. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
just a quick side note.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
cat balls. Let's just let cats play with those anyway. That's my joke and my art.
Love it.
Long time listeners
All
will
right,
catch that.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
investigations would be better off with cats than the cat balls. All right, unless you got a very
I
healthy
agree.
male cat, then go with the cat balls.
But
Anyway,
they're
I don't
so
mean to just
fun. They're they're so fun, Hair
no
Force.
disrespect, please,
Mm.
no disrespect. I'm just saying.
I know.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
love what you guys do. Again, I am 50-50 on this paranormal thing. I do think
Mhm.
there is something bigger than us. Trust me
Mm.
on that. There is. I mean, it's weird. We
Mhm.
don't know what we don't. I threw it in the text. I mean, look, this is the long and the short of it. Is we must keep our minds not so open that our brains fall out, and not so closed that nothing can get in. We
Mm.
do not know what we don't know, and that's why we do what we do. And I appreciate you guys doing what you do, because
Thank you.
there are things we don't know. I mean, just I mean,
True.
right?
Now, what are some of
Absolutely.
those? What are some of those things? So we get that you're a cautious believer, right? You're not just gonna fall for any old Ouija board that
No,
falls off the
I'm
Kmart
not a
shelf, right?
disbeliever. I'm not a
But
debunker.
what are some experiences or some stories that you lend high credibility to that have bumped things up to 50-50, right? So you got an equal fight going on
Well,
in your mind right now. So
Mhm.
there's got to be something on the other side.
oh no, you are correct, sir. Gil, you are absolutely correct. Much respect for you. Um,
Oh, thank you.
the
Okay.
fact, 1977, I had an encounter, which I will, I will go to my grave saying I had an encounter with a Sasquatch. I do believe this falls under the category of paranormal, whatever.
Mhm.
Most
This is
definitely.
why I'm talking to you today. I need answers. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm.
answers. That's why I research. As far as ghosts and the paranormal, I know it's a little outside. My thing is a little outside of what you guys do,
Mm-hmm.
but I I am a firm believer that there is something after us.
Mhm.
I mean, man, it's
So,
hard. It's hard to explain.
so is it just that your Bigfoot encounter and the experience just kind of opened you up? Like it moved the fence post back or the goal line back so far into one direction that it gave breathing room for things like Ouija boards where you're like, I've never had an intense personal experience, but Bigfoot's real. So there's there's a good chance. Like, how did
The
how did
Ouija
that
board,
move? Was it? Yeah, or not
now
Ouija boards,
Ouija
but you know,
boards is
planchettes, talking boards.
Ouija boards is easy to discount, but
Okay.
with all the um, evidence and things that I hear from people, and I've had my own experience as to ghostly, I guess we'll call it with quotes, scare quotes. I've
Mhm.
had that experience also. Um, I can't say I'm not the guy that's gonna say, nah, it's a BS. No, there's
Yeah.
something there, and and again, I have to say that I appreciate you guys looking for the answers on this. I'm not the guy to do it. I'm a Bigfoot guy. I had an encounter. I'm convinced. The ghost thing, I am totally intrigued on, and I love what you guys do on this. I have my opinions and doubts and confirmations. I've had and also, a ghostly. I don't want to call it a ghostly experience. That kind of sounds Disney, but I've have had experiences that
Well, tell us
makes
about
me
it.
lean that way. It's hard to accept, but I have to accept it.
Mhm.
And I love what you guys do because I would love answers to this. Not that we will all get them when we die, right?
Sure. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of
I mean
course.
that
Everybody is going to be in the same boat on that one.
That's what we tell ourselves. So,
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not rushing for an answer,
Yeah.
nor are all y'all, I'm sure. But I want that answer again. Hey, I just wanted to hop on and just say I love what you guys are doing. I am
uh,
fully open minded. You guys are freaking awesome,
Mm.
and
oh,
just love this open mindedness
awesome.
and trying to just find answers as to some things that happen to us all that
Mhm.
we just can't
Mhm.
explain. And most of us just want to explain away and just say,
Yeah.
coincidence, whatnot. But no, but I really, really genuinely think there is something bigger than us or equal
Mhm.
to us. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, I had
I got
a
you.
weird experience that, trust me, people have been telling me for 30 some odd years that
Mhm.
it's BS. Somehow they were there and can explain to me what I seen, but they just weren't there.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, I'm sorry to rant. I
You're
digress.
good.
But you guys are awesome. Love your
Thank you.
show,
Love you too, brother.
and
Thank
You
it
Thank
take
you,
just
Air
care, and
Force
just
One. You
congrats
did.
again
You're amazing.
on your super freaking awesome, successful weight loss. One of these days,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the next episode, we're gonna need two things from you. A, your diet secrets, and B, for you to tell us about these stories and stop edging us like some kind of paranormal tease over there. But thank you so much for calling in, man. We really appreciate
Oh,
it.
I got you on that,
Thank you.
buddy. I will.
All
It's
right.
no secret. I will give you my diet
Uh,
secret.
all right. You have a good night, man.
Much
Take
love
care.
Have
to
a
you
good
guys,
one.
man.
All right.
Absolutely love your show.
Thank you, Air Force.
Later.
Oh man, I have actually heard his Sasquatch story, and
Mhm.
as someone who has not had my own personal Sasquatch story, I think this falls in line with kind of what he was talking about. It
Mhm.
fascinates the hell out of me, and I believe him. I believe that
Mm.
story. There's
Mm-hmm.
just something, man. Something.
Dang.
I don't
Man.
have to understand it. I don't have
Nope.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey,
Yeah.
It's a good
Zeus.
one. So I hope
You
he
want?
does. He will tell some of his tales next time. That would be awesome.
I'm
He'll get
totally.
us
I
there.
feel like he was just like
Mm-hmm.
edging us towards like a
I know,
paranormal
teasing us.
climax. He's like, "Oh, I've got tails," and I was like, "Okay, okay." No, but he's good, man. He's good. He
Hmm.
had me like wrapped around his finger. I was like, "God damn, man!" But no, I think I can already tell. I mean, especially if it's been affecting him like this long, so
Oh
intensely and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
The little details of the story are gonna matter. and like it's probably like
Mhm.
a decently long, like it needs to unwind. It can't just be like a 1 minute phone call.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got.
Oh yeah.
That's the
Oh
vibe I got.
yeah. Yeah. So he's got a longer seat next episode. That'll be a good way to start the year. Our next show is not going to be until after the first.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
Ooh.
we're gonna since
Um,
Damien is not here with us at
yes.
this moment, we are
Mhm.
gonna give Damien updates from his chat. He says, "FYI, this wine is absolutely fucking terrible. Cool bottle though, so I'm gonna keep it. LOL." So Damien, keep us with the updates. You can do it in the chat here if you're still here. I think so. Yeah, you can just do it in the chat and then we'll do it out for you. Oh, another call.
Right.
Hello, caller. You are live. Can we get your name and where you're calling in from?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh my God, it's
Damien.
Debo's. He got his Ouija board working. That's how he's calling us right now.
Risen from the dead. Hey D.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be able to get back on because this internet is shit.
Ah.
So I'm just going to be, I'm just going to stay in the chat and stuff. But I did want to tell my mom's story because I don't think she's going to call in. I have a feeling she's asleep.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Too many.
back in 2020, we had went to a public event at the Thomas House Hotel, which is where I originally wanted to do the event we did at the Night House.
Mhm.
So it was a public event, about 70 people there. The people that owned the hotel, they actually owned a little church right across the road. They recently tore it down. But at the time, it was still in somewhat decent shape. So they, let people go in there and all this other stuff. So two of the hosts, they took us over there. It was about, I don't know, 7 or 8 of us. They had set up equipment and stuff, and they had a Ouija board. It was a glow in the dark Ouija board, if that counts for anything. I'd never seen a glow in the dark one.
It
Um,
does.
so they're like, anybody want to, mess with it? We'll ask the questions. Y'all just put your hands on it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And my stepdad said he was, and then some random other woman that was there was the third person. So they're asking questions, and nothing's happening, nothing's moving, and they keep asking, and I think some of the equipment started going off. And they asked again, whoever's making this go off, whoever's here, just talk to us. And eventually started just kind of moving around, and it eventually spelled out Lee, Lee. Stopped for a second and spelled love. And my mom broke down into tears. So my mom's middle name is Lee. Her sister had passed away 3 weeks before. And so, I know I wasn't moving it. My stepdad swears he wasn't moving it. And of course, the other woman, she had no clue that my mom's middle name was Lee. And so, it starts moving, spells out her middle name, says love. She starts crying. And of course, everybody's wondering why she's, bawling her eyes out. And she proceeds to tell them, hey, my sister passed away a few weeks ago. My middle name is Lee. I think this may be her just letting me know she's okay. And, that was her one experience with the Ouija board. And she wouldn't even have her hands on it. She was just sitting there beside my stepdad. And his middle name, Lee, stopped for a second and spelled out love. And it stopped moving after that. Nothing else came through. A few other people messed with it. Nothing came through. Only stuff that came through was directed towards her.
Damn.
That's beautiful, though.
So, I mean, if it was, I know I wasn't moving it because I was barely touching it. And like 99.9% sure that my stepdad wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Like I said, the other person wouldn't have known my mom's middle name was Lee. So, but yeah. But that's my other kind of story, but it involves my mom, and she was going to call in, but I have a feeling she's probably asleep because she hasn't been on Facebook in over an hour, and I messaged her when we were going live. So,
It's how you check to see if your mom's awake. You're like, is she on Facebook? Like,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
thank you, man. Thank you
So
Yeah,
for
thanks for
calling
sharing that.
into your show also, and
Yeah.
and for the persistence. I'm starting to believe that you played around with Ouija boards and stuff as a kid because it's the only thing that gets service where you live. I'm starting to wonder.
We need to do a beer, booze, and boogeyman Ouija board just for D-Boo so he can call into our show with the video of through the Ouija
right.
board and the audio.
Yeah.
D-Boos, you put it in
So
the.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, bud.
before I jump off, um,
Mm.
I do want to go ahead and mention the next episode, which will be, I think it's January 7th, maybe the first Saturday in January. This was actually my wife's idea.
Hmm.
We were just sitting at dinner one night, and she's like, "Oh, y'all should do an episode like this." And I was like, "Hey, that's really cool. Let me run it by everybody." So we were going to do an episode. It's going to be called Haunted Hollywood. It's going to be about people that's been to places or had experiences at places that are haunted that movies have been filmed at. The Stanley Hotel, the Amityville Horror House, the Conjuring House, places where movies have been either filmed at or filmed or based on these locations.
Every Superman
And
set.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Seriously.
so I,
That episode's going to be airing January 4th. So be with us on
fourth,
January
okay,
4th. Yeah.
so yeah, but that's episode 10, I think it's going to be. So I'm going to jump off and get back in the chat and open the lines back up.
All right.
Damien,
Awesome, man.
before you go,
Hey.
buddy,
Uh-huh.
did you drink the rest of your Frankenstein wine or did you pour it out?
No, it's still sitting here. I've only drank like about 4 sips out of what I poured. It tastes fucking terrible, dude. And
Mm,
it kind of smells like feet.
Oh,
Okay. You should take a few
Damn.
shots before
They
you
made it the
start
original
drinking it.
way.
Merlot.
Yeah.
You know.
Too bad it's not a Bigfoot wine. Then it would make more sense instead of a Frankenstein wine.
Right. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep this bottle though. It's a pretty cool bottle.
Nice.
All right, D.
All right, guys,
Awesome.
keep it rolling.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you, brother.
All right.
All right, see
See
ya.
you in the chat.
Later, D.
Right.
Wow, that was,
Hey,
that
Booze,
was
you
a
still
man.
had. Oh, sorry.
What? Am I?
You
Am
still
I?
that was a good story. That was a really sweet
that was a
story.
great story.
Yeah,
Now,
that's awesome. Yeah.
I'm off in my podcasting. I'm not synced up with my podcast self, so I'm awkward. Oh.
Gil, this is just usual you, though. Like this
Yeah.
is
It's true.
This
This
is
is why we
podcast
edit
Gil.
Black Cat Report. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
K-Boos,
K-Boos, you still had part of a
yeah.
story.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost wrapped up, and I'm so sorry. I apologize. It's not the writer's grammar. It's just my. I have a stutter, slight stutter, and a stammer, and so I'm struggling reading through for the first time. So I apologize. But to recap, they have just gotten an answer on the Ouija board of a year that somebody died, 1968. Ryan Ryan pulls out an old-looking book and says, since this place has been in their frat, they've kept the yearbook of every graduating class. He has a 1968-69 yearbook in his hands. I feel my neck hair stand up. He starts to go through it and looks up the name, and sure enough, there's the name. Us 4 freshmen that have never been to this house or heard this name somehow knew that name. He continues to look through the book, and at the end, there's an memoriam, and sure enough, his name and picture. We stood up and ran out of that house so fast and just sat in Ty's truck bed, not believing what just happened. Ryan comes out 20 minutes later and says we are pulling a prank on him and trying to scare him out of his house or something to that nature. We were all quiet, shook, because we had spent every waking minute for the past few months together in our dorm, and none of us could have schemed that. He invited us back in, and we all declined. Told him we'd meet him at the party later, and we're going to go get dinner. We talk about it still to this day, and part of me wishes I had asked him more questions. Maybe he was murdered and we could have helped solve it. In the moment, the only thing I felt was Nope. I would too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
it's a
Damn.
poor
little.
guy.
I think for most part, like for most people, when they go into something, especially if they haven't experienced the Ouija board before, like there's a part of you that is just like, yeah, this is fake. This is a joke. This isn't
Mm-hmm.
real. And then what do you do? How do you react when something happens that shouldn't happen, or you get information that nobody should know? How do you? I don't know. How do you deal with that?
Drink.
It's drink more. Just drink.
Just drink.
I mean, that's pretty. I feel like that's pretty standard though. Like with
Hmm.
a lot of folks that are into paranormal stuff and listen to shows like this,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's because you had a moment that kind of broke your expectations, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
always going to be an itch in the back of your mind where you're just like you've ran through the checks, you've gone through a million scenarios in your head, and you've been like, well, was it this? No, was it this? No, you keep
Hmm.
doing that, and eventually it's just like either you go nuts and you drink, or you accept it
Yeah,
and you drink.
and you drink.
But but I mean that's how it was for me, and I feel like I don't feel alone on that one either. I feel like a lot of folks, it's almost guaranteed. If you're into paranormal stuff, you've had an experience.
Yeah.
You might not be owning up to it, but come on, you need to get out of that
Mm-hmm.
paranormal closet. Call in. Tell us about that story.
Mm-hmm.
Get it
You
off
know,
your chest. Share it with us.
Mm-hmm.
just
While we're
come on,
waiting for our next call, I
feel
think
good.
Damien did mention that he put the other story in the chat.
I think
If
there's
one of
two.
you guys, okay, well, you guys want to pull
Yes.
up another, and we'll wait for our next call and tell
Yeah,
another
I've
You
got
listener
one.
story.
you got it. Go.
Yes,
Yeah.
got one
Okay.
pulled up here. Um, make sure my ducks in row and my cats are disorganized. Everything
Mm-hmm.
good. Um,
Good job, D Booze. You're charging your phone too, so nice. The screenshot has this percentage of phone in there, so good job, D Booze.
oh, nice. We've got all your
Nice.
info, and we know you
Mm-hmm.
use the same password for
We
everything.
do.
Um, The Simpsons are the best. 69,420. He uses that for everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the story submission came in through our link, which is go.stop.beer/submit.
Mm-hmm.
If you go there, there's like a bunch of different options. You can leave us a voice message, you can send us an email, you can fill out a form. The carrier message or carrier pigeon still doesn't work, so if you click that option, things will break, but we're working on it. Anyways, this came in through that. It is from Tyrone. It's titled My Ouija Experience. Been fascinated by the paranormal since I was a kid. Still am to this day. Growing up in rural Utah, there weren't many things to do, so I spent most of my free time reading about ghosts, demons, and other supernatural entities. By the time I was 15, in 2013, I devoured every book on the subject I could find. One night, my friends, Terrence and Patrick, came over and we started messing around with a Ouija board I had bought at an antique store a few months before. This is, shit's gonna happen. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Hmm.
Shit's
interrupt the
going
story
down.
that I'm
Shit's going down.
reading, but Ouija board from an antique store, like
Yeah.
foreshadowing. I'd never used one before, but I'd heard stories. We set it up in my basement, lit some candles, and sat down. Didn't know much about how it was supposed to work, but I was excited to try. We put our fingers on the planchette, which is the little watermelon seed shaped thing, on the planchette, and I asked if anyone was there. At first, nothing happened, but then the planchette started moving on its own. It spelled out Hell. We were all freaking out, but in a good way. Of course, accusing each other of moving it, I asked it more questions, and it kept responding. Laughing and still accusing each other, we continued, but then things took a dark turn. Planchette started moving faster and faster, spelling out weird symbols and words that didn't make sense. We tried to stop it, but it wouldn't stop. Suddenly, the candles flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. We heard a loud bang, like something had fallen over upstairs. We were all terrified. We grabbed our flashlights and ran upstairs, but there was nothing out of place. It was as if nothing had happened, but we knew what we had experienced, and it freaked us out. We decided to never use the Ouija board again, but we didn't know how to stop what we had started. For the next 6 months or so, strange things happened around my house. Doors would slam shut on their own, and I'd hear whispers in the night, etc. It was as if something had followed me upstairs from that night in the basement because that's where all the experiences occurred. I was at my wits' end, not knowing what to do, but then I stumbled upon an article online that mentioned the importance of closing out a Ouija board session. I had no idea that was a thing. I immediately called up Terrence and Patrick, and we decided to meet up and close out the session. We got together, lit some candles, and placed our fingers on the planchette. We said a prayer, asking for any spirits to leave us alone. As soon as we did, the strange occurrences stopped. The whispers, the doors slamming shut, everything just stopped. It was as if we had finally closed the door on that dark night in the basement. Looking back, I realized how stupid we were to mess around with something we didn't understand, but I'm just glad that we were able to put an end to it before things got any worse. That's by Tyrone. Thank
Worst
you
house
so
guest
much
ever.
for submitting that, man. Also, you're a damn good writer. Just got to throw that out
That's
there.
good writing. Yeah.
For
That's
real.
that's
Very good
got to be
writer.
the worst house
Was
guest
there.
ever. It's like, come on, stop slamming doors. Like, we get it. You're
Yeah.
in the house.
Uh,
Followed him upstairs. Like, come on, seriously. That sucks though, and I am glad. To be fair, like Tyrone, you said, and I think Damien Debu said, and then the first caller said as well, to make sure that you close your Ouija board because
Mhm.
yeah, I guess it's just like
Close your
walking in
Ouija
a
board,
door.
your
Yep,
windows, everything.
Mhm.
yep,
Mhm.
yep.
Damn.
To the windows, to the
To the
Ouija board.
walls.
Yep. You gotta make sure
To the
you
ghost
close
that
it
lives
out.
down the hall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Till
that
all
that
these listeners call.
Oh, Lancet,
Stop.
Lancet, 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 Lancet. Oh, Lancet,
Get into
Lancet, Lancet.
skeet, skeet, skeet.
It does
Mhm.
uh speak to like intention when using the Ouija board. I think,
Hmm.
Mhm.
like with with Debu's situation, like he didn't know to close it. This storyteller here, he learned later to close it, and then he was able to come to his own solution there and stop the activity and essentially close it. So I wonder if
Mhm.
that's what just opening and closing a Ouija board is all about. It's not some magic trick. It's not something that's dependent on the Ouija board itself, but it's your intention as the user,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
leaving
wondering
your
why they
intention
don't
open.
print that you're supposed to close it on the box at this point, but
They
maybe it's just better
do.
marketing. They
They
do?
do they do in the new one. Like if it's
Nobody reads
brand
the
new where you
manuals.
have to pull the
That's
plastic
why.
off of it like it's seal wrapped.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just talking about the box though. They're not talking about the Ouija board on
Yeah.
the box. It's
Oh,
written on the
well,
box. They're
yeah.
just like, just close the box when you're done. You're fine. There's no big deal.
Eh.
Yeah. That would be good
Hasbro.
information to just
Wouldn't it
know
be just
anyway. Yeah.
terrible if you just got haunted by the ghost of Hasbro?
Oh my god, a
Like
Hasbro.
yeah, every
Let's
time, just
play
like,
a game.
let's play a
Ugh.
game.
You
I
should
don't
buy
want to play this game.
PBR.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Stop.
Beer
Look, we're gonna
pong.
play
Beer
life.
pong. Beer.
We're playing life.
Um,
Oh, you're talking about an actual bro.
yeah.
It's literally just a
Hasbro.
bro. Yeah, that comes up, a ghost bro.
Do you Hasbro? You do now.
Mm-hmm.
D-Boost, I'm throwing this out to you in the chat, unless Christian, I believe we had 3 written story submissions. I might be making that up though.
There is one at the
Is that
beginning. I
correct?
got it. Yeah,
You want to
it's the
Oh,
get it,
we
short
Joey?
one
got
at
we
the
got one
beginning.
more.
Yeah,
While
it's
we're
the one at the beginning.
Joey loves to be interrupted by callers, so seriously,
Please interrupt me. I don't like talking, so just
he hates it.
yeah.
He gets such an attitude when he has his Christmas hat on. I don't know if
I
anybody
know
else
I
knows
have
that.
an attitude. You know,
Just tease.
no, it's true. It's his attitude, Joey over here. Um, I don't like hearing myself talk, because it's just. I know some people say that we like hearing ourselves talk, but we really don't like hearing ourselves talk. Nudge, nudge.
Only idiots would
I
love to.
muted him because he wanted.
I
I
can't
got you,
unmute
buddy.
myself.
I got
Oh,
you.
thank you. I was gonna say I can't unmute myself. All right. Well, I'm gonna
Uh,
read this one, this real short one. And this is from Amanda. So thank you, Amanda, for sending this in.
Thank you, Amanda.
hmm When I was about 9 or 10, my dad had been playing a Ouija board by himself. Me and my sister went to visit him, and the heart of the board moved off the board and table by itself. When I was about 14 or 15, one of me and my friends were playing with a Ouija board and started to feel like we were being touched by cold hands.
Mm.
We put the heart of the board, and by the heart of the board, I think they mean the little lancet thing that's in the middle that. We
Mhm.
put the heart of the board at the top of the closet and threw the board away. That'll do it. That room to this day gives me the creeps. I had nightmares for weeks after that, and those nightmares are why I hate clowns. Dang, Amanda. I'm sorry.
Oh,
This that sucks.
so she was having nightmares. This was causing nightmares, but she was having nightmares about clowns. Oh, ugh.
Yeah. Ooh. And especially this, being 14 or 15, you're
Mhm.
with your friends, obvious like the other stories we've told, and you're in a room, and you just get starting touched by cold hands. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
That would put nightmares in my head all day.
Yeah.
Dang.
Now here's another thing
Hmm.
that you don't know until you know, and I actually personally don't know the answer right now, but I know that there's something to do with how you dispose of a Ouija board properly.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it correctly, then it's basically the same as like not saying goodbye to the spirit or closing out a
Mm.
session. I don't know what the proper way to dispose of one is.
They're very needy, you know.
They, they take
The
a lot
spirits,
of
it's
like
like,
time and care, and like
yeah.
it's a relationship when
And
you
they're
buy a
just like,
Ouija
come on,
board.
I don't get a texted good morning. I don't get a good morning, beautiful text. Like, come on. I don't get a good
He used
night,
to hold my
gorgeous
hand all the
text.
time.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Yeah. You
No,
feel these
nothing.
cold hands? Jeez. Um,
Mm.
they are needy. Dang.
Oh man! But thank you, Amanda. Thank you for the
Yeah,
story.
thank you.
That was
Seriously.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your nightmares about that. That's terrible. And to be
I
fair,
got
like
nothing.
it's fine. It sucks that you're afraid of clowns because they're. I feel like in the 70s and 80s, clowns are really prevalent, and I feel like they kind of just went
Mhm.
out of fashion after it. Man, I guess after it, maybe it seems like it was like, nah, we're good. We don't need clowns anymore. And John Wayne Gacy, to be fair. Um,
Yeah, that didn't really help a whole
Gacy
lot
just
with the whole
ruined it for
clown
everybody.
stigmas.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
He didn't even season
Oh.
his meat. Terrible. Anyways, so do we do we have any outgoing messages? Any thoughts on anything? What do you, Kristen? What do you got coming up with Paranormal Girl Pod?
Coming up with Paranormal Girl Pod, man.
Yeah, what do you got coming up?
Well, I've got a very special guest on tomorrow. You guys might know him. His name is Damien. and and he
Never heard of
and
him.
I'm not going to
Never heard of
announce
him.
the guest who's joining him, but she's kind of a unicorn in the paranormal, and I'm very, very, very grateful to have her coming on my show. She doesn't grant interviews to a lot of people like anybody, but she granted one to me. So I'm going to be talking to them.
Very
And
thank
yeah, a couple more guests before the end of the year. Trying to get my button gear enough to do a live stream, like a Christmas special before the end of the year.
Heck
Don't know
yeah.
if that's going to happen, but working on it.
you.
Last minute caller.
Come on.
Deboos.
Come on.
Damien.
Hello.
Yes, you on.
Are you there, buddy?
You're on.
Hey, how's it going?
How's
Oh, it's great. We did miss you.
hanging out? Slowly getting back into this after so much time off. How are you? How's that wine treating you, buddy? Is it tasting better yet? Have you been drinking it?
No, I've still only took about 4 sips.
Oh, you
See, that's
poor
why it tastes
thing.
bad.
That's why your internet's not working.
Yeah,
There you go.
probably.
If you drink that whole
Yeah.
bottle, the internet would be working just fine.
Guaranteed. Every time.
Yeah.
At least it will be when you wake up tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deboos, do you have any wrapping up thoughts? Any things coming up? Any interviews on other folks' podcasts or tomorrow morning or anything like that? What's the closing messages for you, bud?
I don't know. I have 2 days off in a row, so I'm not real sure what to do with that. But I do have an interview coming up. I think it's going to be pretty fucking rad. So,
Is it
and I got
tomorrow?
somebody special joining
What's
me.
it?
I'm not going to say who it is, but I think it's going to be
You got another
exciting.
caller coming in.
But here, let me hang up.
All right. Hello, caller. You are live.
Hello.
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 Can we get your name and where you're calling in from?
Well, this is Dwayne, and I'm in Puyallup,
Dwayne.
Washington.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, Dwayne.
Hello.
Hey, brother.
Call back with one of your
Then
stories.
what's up? What's that?
You call in with one of your stories?
No,
Oh,
Such a
All
tease.
right.
no.
breaking my heart.
Only 100%. I am only calling to tell you guys that you are absolutely freaking awesome, and thank you so much for this forum and accepting people's stories. And you know I don't like your stories, but encounters and everything. You guys are just awesome, and I love this format. And thanks for being back. And we've missed you so much.
Aw.
Is that
Aw,
enough?
That's
That's
awesome.
Drink
yeah.
to that, sir.
I-
Thank you,
Cheers.
man.
You guys,
I will say
guys are
we
all
don't pay
y'all
him to call in.
awesome. All of you all are so awesome.
Awesome.
Gil,
Thank you,
Thank you.
brother.
all you guys, all of y'all are just so awesome. Thanks for
Thank you, brother.
opening up this format and letting people say what they want to say, whether you believe it or not. I love it, and you guys are just
Mhm.
awesome for that.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, is that enough?
Thank you.
That's
That
yeah.
is perfect,
That's
man.
perfect.
We're gonna
Wonderful.
clip
Yep.
that and make it a highlight, brother. You have a good night.
Thank you,
Freaking-
Dwayne.
I'm excited
All
to hear
right, hey,
next month when
oh,
you're just like, I weigh negative 20 ounces at that point. Like your diet, and I'm like, I'm stoked to like
get
track
down,
your
man. I
progress,
got
my
to
man.
go 150. I'm gonna get there.
Whew,
Anyway,
yeah.
Hell
but
yeah,
don't
brother.
worry.
All right.
Don't worry about me. It's about the collective and what we all think and what we believe and
There we
what we
go.
don't. And
Mhm.
There we go.
just much love to all you guys. I just want you guys to know that I love this format, and you guys are all awesome for doing this and putting
Appreciate
it
it,
out
man.
there for all of us to speak our opinion without bias. I love it. You guys are absolutely awesome. And with that said,
Thank you, brother.
much love to you all. And man, I just wish you guys the best weekend ever.
Oh, you
Thank you,
too,
Same
brother.
Dwayne.
to you.
You too, my man.
Oh.
Aw.
All right, Dwayne. I almost said Dwayne. Dwayne just called. All right, Deboos, call back in. Help us close this one out, buddy. What about you? What about you, BCR?
We just be doing stuff.
Just doing stuff. Just
We do.
Deboos, is
Hello,
that
hello.
you?
Welcome
hey,
back,
Hello,
Deboos.
D.
hello,
All
hello.
right.
think we're
We
closing
do
this one out,
anything
bud.
that we want.
Yeah.
Random.
Let's.
We are
Yes.
closing this one out. As a reminder,
Yes.
January 4th, Haunted Hollywood. Send in your
January
stories.
4th.
Yep.
Yes.
The real
What else?
businessman here
What else?
reminding
Ghost.beer
everybody.
/ submit, or follow any of us on the socials, the social medias.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
post about the upcoming things. We'll send out reminders. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and like any good, I'm gonna throw this in there. I'm going rogue. Any good Hollywood conspiracies, right?
Yes.
Feel like a
Yes.
good Hollywood conspiracy.
Mhm.
I'm here for that. I'm here for that shit. I don't know. That's just me. I think these
I'm on board with
horses are
that.
up to something. Anyways, um, yes. Oh, actually, one little thing for I'm gonna take back to K-Booz. You asked about if we had any BCR announcements. Yes,
Yes.
we
We
had a
do.
major fucking updates
We
on
did.
our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't fully announced it yet, but we've got it up there. We just haven't had time to actually send out notifications to everybody. Here's the deal. We literally set stuff up so that if you just follow us on Patreon, which would be the free tier, which basically means just you follow us on Patreon,
Mm-hmm.
you get access to a bunch of free shit. Like literally. It's we set it up as just like, dude, Patreon makes it easy for us to be able to communicate with folks in one place, to be honest. It's like, so
Mm-hmm.
for like polls or for community chat or for notifications about live recordings or breaking news episodes that we're doing or anything like that, it's like really convenient instead of the 40,000 social media channels that are out there, you know?
Yeah.
So, hey, if you follow us over on Patreon, Black Cat Report, you'll see a bunch of fun little perks over there, and there's some
Mm-hmm.
announcements. Yeah, that's
That
all
is
my jazz.
exciting. Go.
I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty
Yeah.
stoked.
We are offering a load of stuff on Patreon that we don't do anywhere else because it's just like Gil said, it's much easier. And to be fair, in January we're gonna have some amazing stuff coming out. We're really excited to put out some new stuff, right, Gil?
That new, exactly.
That new. Yeah, we can't say it
New.
here, but you can literally go to the Patreon website of Black Cat Report and see what's
Yes.
coming out in January.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Deboos,
Awesome.
any closing rambles? Oh my god, my cat almost knocked everything down. Um,
That
Cat
would be
had the
bad.
last word.
just
No, I don't think I've got anything. My show's kind of on hiatus again. I just I didn't really feel like doing it here lately. So I'll pick back up at some point. Plus, I work all the
feel it.
time. So
Yeah, that makes it
Yeah.
really, really tough. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
ready to pick it back up,
yeah.
where we'll be. We're here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So I think that's it, huh?
That's it.
I
Take
think
us
so.
out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time. Even though you can't see me, raising my glass. Here's a toast to the ghost in your hall.
The Bigfoot hiding in your yard.
The gray waiting for you to fall asleep.
And please use your Ouija boards safely.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Night, y'all.
Night.
That stuff is so gross. Have a good night, everybody.
Good last part.
Cheers.
All right, let me check the live.
Hang on, D.
Mm. Ugh.
Good.
Hey, Gil.
Studio session was good. That was
In
good.
that YouTube session, buddy. Thank you. Done. Nope. Still there.